So yes, you can start your presentation now.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be continuing with the Golang part 2. So let's start it. So the first thing we talk about is how to install Golang in a VS Code, and I'll explain you the process, how to install the Golang in your VS Code. So the process here, I have mentioned all the steps that you need to perform in order to successfully install Golang on your VS Code. So the first one is you have to download the VS Code editor that you can find uh, it in the internet using Google or Chrome or whatever browser you use. There you need to download a VS Code extension. After downloading it, you have to launch it. That means you will open it, and then in the extension you can get the extension tab by pressing Ctrl Shift plus X. In the search box you go and hit and find Go extension by the Go team at Google. There is an extension named Go team at Google. You will need to download that extension on your computer, and you need to just install it, and automatically the VS Code editor will take the all the commands that that particular extension is providing, and easily you can write code over there. So this is a complete procedure that you need to follow in order to use Golang in VS Code. So now we'll talk about some basic syntax of Golang. Okay, so in the last video, I explained you the basic syntax, which included the main package name, import, fmt, function main, print ln. So uh, uh, re, I'll just try to tell you once again that about the same procedure and what exactly the syntax is. So in Golang, every program is a part of a package. So we need to define this using the package keyword. So as last week I mentioned that packages, the first thing that we need to keep in a mind while using Golang. Even when we use Java, we have to use a package over there, where the first line which we write in Java is to import the package that we'll use to write a program. So in Golang, similarly, we need to import the package by using the package keyword. Then in the line 2, import fmt is the line that will help us to include the package within a program. Now the third one is a blank line. To ignore the white spaces, having white spaces in the program, we need not to take care of it, because Golang has nothing to use with the white spaces, as Golang automatically ignores the white spaces that are available. Then the other one is that the function name, it is a function in which within which the code whatever we want to execute, we write it within that. And fmt.println is the function that will be used to print or output the text or the answer, whatever the thing the user may want to output as an output. So this is a basic syntax of Golang that every individual might be knowing, or if not knowing, then you can easily refer this particular slide to easily understand that. Now, so can we write Go code in a single line? This is one of the important question that sometimes it is even asked in interviews as well. So let me tell you that definitely you can write the entire code in Golang in single line. It is not preferred and recommended to write code in a single line in Golang. The reason is that because if you will write the entire code in a single line, so it will be difficult for the user to read it. That's why it is generally preferred while working on any programming language, whether it is Golang, Java, C, C++, Python, or whatever the language you might be using. You can, it is preferred to write the code in multiple lines, not in a single line. But if a user wants to write it in a single line, then definitely this Golang provides this feature to write the entire code in a single line. Now, we'll talk about what are comments in Golang. So, a comment in Golang is a text that is ignored upon execution. A comment can be used to explain the code and to make it more readable. Comments can also be used to prevent code execution when testing an alternative code. Go supports single line or multi-line comments. So, so here I have mentioned an example of single line comment. So single line comment in Golang is provided by double slash, which and single line comment is actually used to hide one particular statement that the user wants to hide or did not want to execute during the program. So he or she can use a single line comment over there. Similarly, if a user wants to use multi-line comment, that he must then he must use a slash and a asterisk symbol for that. Many of us might be familiar with this particular comments as well, because in other programming languages also we are using these two symbols as a comments to for multi-line comments, and as a single line, that is the double slash. So this similar type of comments we are using in Golang also. Now we'll talk about Go variable types. So how many types of variables are there, and what are variables? So Go variable types, in Go there are different types of variables, but here I have mentioned the variables which are most commonly used by programmers while working on Golang. So the first one is integer, that is used to store the whole numbers, that for example 123 or minus 123. Float 32 stores floating point numbers with decimals such as 19.99 or minus 19.99. Whereas a string, if suppose a user wants to store a string in a variable, then he can or she needs to declare a variable using a string. Then only she can store a string within that particular variable. String values are surrounded by double quotes that we need to take care in Golang even. And the other one is the Boolean, where there are two states, that is a true and false. This all these variable types are having the similar structure and format as we are using in other programming languages. Now, how can we declare on a variables, or how can we create a variable? So in Golang, there are two ways to declare a variable. First one is with the var keyword. That is, we use the var keyword followed by a variable name and its type. So the syntax I have mentioned over here is that we'll use the keyword var, and then we'll give a variable name. Suppose the variable name which I am giving is a, and then the type of the variable includes whether it is integer, it's boolean, string, or whatever the variable may be. And in the value section, we'll provide the value that either it is an integer value or a float value or a string value, whatever the value may be. We can easily provide it over there using this particular syntax. Now we need to take care one thing, that is you have to specify either type or value or both in that was the first part in which we were using var keyword. So in that particular declaration, we need to take care where what type of variable and the value of variable we are assigning, and the value which we are passing in that particular variable type. Now the other one is the equal to sign. So exactly it is not equals to, it is colon equals to sign that we are using in it. We use colon equals to sign followed by the variable name. The syntax I have mentioned there. So the second type of variable declaration is most commonly used in Golang, because it is quite easier one, and moreover this type of variable declaration is even used in other programming languages, but there we have a case in that the colon sign which is present in this particular type of declaration is not available over there. So we need to take care that in Golang, the extra thing which we need to use is that we need to use a colon sign before equals to declare the variable. The syntax is the simple one, that is the will give a variable name, and then we'll use that colon equals to sign, and then we'll provide the value. Then in this case, we need to take care that the type of a variable is inferred from the value, which means that the compiler decide the type of the variable based on the value. So in this particular type of declaration, we need not to declare the type of the variable which we are using. So in the previous declaration, that was this one. In the var keyword declaration, we need to define the type of variable which we were using, like integer, boolean, or string, whatever may be. But in the second type of variable declaration, there is no such need of assigning the type of the variable which we are using. That is, in whether we need not to um, tell whether we are using integer, boolean, or string. The compiler automatically will decide what type of variable needs to be initialized based on the value that will be passing in that particular variable that we have declared. Now Go multi-variable declaration. So Go provides a feature of multi-variable declaration. In Go, it is possible to declare multiple variables in even in a single line. But again, there is a fault that way happens, that it is not recommended by the users to declare all the variables in a single line, because it creates confusion in the reader's mind, who is either reading your code or is trying to see the code. Although this particular type of variable declaration is there in Go, we can use it. There is no such compulsion not to use it. So now we'll talk about what are the naming rules that we need to take care while working on with variables in Golang. So a variable must have a short name like X and Y, or a more descriptive name like age, price, car name, etc. So it is generally recommended to use shorter names, because it creates more readability. It actually provides more readability to the user, because generally when we are working in a program, and if we want to see whatever program a person is writing, if generally there is a very big variable, then we try to focus on that particular variable only, rather than the code for which we are actually watching it. So it is generally recommended to use shorter names rather than bigger name. The second one is Go variable naming rules. Then we are starting now the what are the rules. So the rule one says a variable name must start with a letter or an underscore character. The second one is a variable name cannot start with a digit. The third one is a variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscore, that is small a to small z or capital A to z, that is 0 to 9, and underscore. Variable names are case sensitive, that is the uppercase letters will be treated differently and the lowercase letters will be treated differently. So if a person is declaring an uppercase letter, and if he's trying to print the value of that particular variable in lowercase letter, then there will be a compilation error. So we need to take this thing in mind. The second one is there is no limit on the length of the variable name, and the variable name cannot contain spaces. This is one thing which we need to take care, that we have if we want a particular space, then we need to use underscore for that, because spaces is not allowed in variable declaration. And the third one is that a variable name cannot be any Go keyword, like we talked about the var keyword. So var keyword can't be the variable name. So these are the rules that we need to take care while working with the Go variables. So multi-word variable names. So variable names with more than one word can be difficult to read. So there are several techniques which we can use to make them more readable. So there are certain cases that we'll use to make the multi-word variable names more readable. So the first case is the camel case, where each word except the first starts with a capital letter. So the example is my variable name equals to, in double colon we have given a value that is we have passed a string that is John. So in this particular camel case, the first word that is my is in small letter, and the variable v and the name n is capital. So we can use this type of declaration, and this type of variable declaration name is known as camel case. The second one is the Pascal case. That is, each word starts with a capital letter. So Pascal case is like, generally in physics, whenever we write the units based on the names of the scientists, it is generally preferred to write them by the help of capital letters. So similar thing we need to follow in Go, because if we can declare a variable whose first letter needs to be, if we wants to declare a multi-word variable, then its first letter must be capital. And the other one is the snake case, and in the snake case we can separate the variables using underscore. That was the last point which I explained you in that naming rules for that variable declaration naming. Now, what are Go constants? We are talking about this. So if a variable needs to have a fixed value with the during the execution of the program, and we need that the value which we are assigned to that variable should not change, then we can use a constant keyword over there. So the constant keyword declares the variable as constant, which means that it is unchangeable and readable and read only. That is, we can't change the value which we have assigned. So the basic syntax is we can use a const keyword. After that, we'll give the name of the constant, whether it is A, B, or whatever the type of name which we want to provide, and the data type, that is integer, float, or double, and the value we'll pass on to it. The value of the constant must be assigned when you declare it. So this thing we need to take care in our mind is that we need to first declare the variable as constant, and then we need to assign the value to it. Now, what are constant and and constants rules? So constants name follow the same name rule as variables. That is, constant names are usually written in uppercase letter for easy identification and differentiation from variables. The second one is constants can be declared both inside and outside a function. And here there are two types of constants, that is typed constants and untyped constants. So this is the extra thing which we will come to know in Golang. So the first type of constant which we will be using is typed constant. So in typed constants, where the worst thing which we need to take care is that after every constant name, we'll declare the type of the value which we are assigning to it. That means we'll declare the data type that we are using. Like suppose in this, the constant A integer equals to 1. So there we are providing the variable type, that is we are passing integer value in that constant a variable as a constant. So this type of constant transfer is done in a typed constant, whereas in untyped constant, we need not to specify the type of the value which we are passing. That is simply constant a equals to 1. That is, the compiler will automatically understand that, okay, the user is passing an integer value. So that particular constant will be treated as an integer. The value which we have passed in that constant will be treated as an integer value. So here are some interview questions that we can encounter while during our interview session. So the first one is, what is the basic syntax of Go? And will be asked to explain it. So this particular answer of this particular question I have provided in the first particular PPT. The second one is, can we write Go codes in a single line? That is, definitely we can write a Go code in a single line, but it is not recommended to write the entire code in a single line. The third one is, what are Go comments, which I have explained in this particular slide. And the fourth question is, what are constants? Uh, the fifth question says, how many types of constants are there? Now moving on to the next slide is, what are typed constants? This I explained you. What are untyped constant is again which I explained you in that last PPT, and rules for naming the variable. So these are the few questions that we can encounter during our interview session, and answer of all these questions is provided within this the presentation that I am currently explaining. So you can refer the answer of all these questions within the same presentation. Well, that's all from my side. If you have any question that you can ask from me.
Can you explain the untyped constant once again?
Okay, so in untyped constant, the one thing which we need to take care is that in typed constant, we need to specify what type of value which we are providing. So suppose I have given a constant name as a. So if in that particular constant, I am passing a value as 1. So there I need to specify that, okay, 1 is an integer value. So the syntax which I will be writing is a bracket integer, then I'll assign the value as 1. But in untyped constant, that integer part which we are writing the type constant, we need not to write that. The compiler will automatically understand that, okay, the user is passing an integer value. So I need to understand that, okay, an integer value is being passed. So the compiler will take care of all the activity which the constant will be performing in our program. So there the only difference is that there we need not to define the type of the variable which we are using.
Okay.
So yes, please repeat the how we can comment in Go language.
Okay, so comments in Golang, there are actually two types of comments. So single line and multi-line comment. So in single line comments, we'll use that similar concept which we are using in Java, C and CPP. That is that double slash. And for multi-line comments, you might be familiar with that comment that is slash and asterisk, which most probably we use that in HTML and CSS. So this particular type of comment will be using in as a multi-line comment, and for single line we'll be using that double slash. The comment part is just similar with other programming languages, that is CPP, C or Java. Only I think in Python there is a difference that we'll use that I think at the rate symbol or hash we are using over there.
Hash.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I think I should start my presentation. Give me a second.
Okay.
My screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay.
Yes, it is visible.
Let's just start with git bash command shell. In the previous presentation, I'll explain all the details which are required for basic branch commands. So in this presentation, I will implement those commands. Basically, in this presentation, I will cover all the basics like how to commit, how to generate a text file, and how to collab all commits and make a complete branch, and how to create a new branch, and on that new branch how to commit, and how to change from one branch to another branch, like the versions of our project. So firstly, where I am in the folder, okay, I will create a folder that is sc1. mkdir is make directory, so it will create a folder. Directory is folder and repositories dot git folder. Okay, so inside the sc1, firstly I will change my directory, that is sc1. I will inherit git init. Okay. So I will try to generate objects that is blob, type of blob. Firstly, I will generate a text file, file1.txt. In that text file, I will write hello, comma get. Okay, it will store in file1.txt. I will save as a blob type object. So file1.txt/w. It will store as a blob. I will generate a second file, file2.txt. Okay, file2.txt. Hello, comma word, control X, Y. Okay, it will store. I use the same command, file2.txt. Okay, it will store file1.txt and file2.txt will be stored in .git folder, and inside .git objects folder. These two blobs are stored. I will generate a tree because on our laptops the tree object is not supported. But today I implement some commands so that we get to know that the GitHub is automatically, when we try to commit the two blobs or two blob object like two files, then it will automatically generate a tree. Inside that tree, the file1.txt and file2.txt will be saved. So firstly, I will create a third file, file3.txt, 100644. It is the code for the access. Okay, blov. Actually, I will intro by. What is the format of tree? I will be tell in like I tell you in previous presentation what is the format of the tree. I will just copy this hash value. Okay, then I again open file1.txt, file3.txt. Okay, just paste the hash value there. Click on tab, write the file name, file1.txt. Okay, 100644 elov. What's the hash value of second text file? I have to copy this. Copy. Paste the hash value. Write the file name, file2.txt. Okay, control X, Y. It takes a second. Control X and Y. Okay, it will store in the file3.txt. But this time the file3.txt is not saved as object of Git. So I use the command git hash object file3.txt. It will store as a blob in .git repository. Okay, so now I will just write a command so that these files are go to the staging areas. Firstly, I will check the status. So it will show that file1.txt, file2.txt, file3.txt are present in the staging area. And this time I have to commit these all files in the not in the staging area, but in the working directory. I have to firstly stage it. So I write the command git add. If I write the file name file1.txt, it will stage only one file, file1.txt to the staging area, file2.txt to the staging area. But I will write dot. It will it will move all the files to the staging area. I will use the command git commit /m. It is our first commit. This time I will not make a tree, because like this time if I try to make a tree, like file 3.txt has the same format as, it will show that this is the same format of tree, like how tree is stored in a GitHub. But if I write the command of storing the tree, file 3.txt git mk tree, it will show a fatal input error. It will show in my laptop, it will show, but in the computers, this format is not so there. You can see a hash is created of a tree, okay, and a tree object is stored. But I will use another method, dot get. I think actually I use this command. Okay, git commit /m our first commit. Okay, enter. So it will generate a hash, a root in the commit, a root commit. In the root commit, there are three text files are contained. If I wanted to know what is inside it, what actually the first commit has generate a hash value, that is D6D472D. I wanted to know what is the inside this this commit. I just /p and copy this hash value. This time you will show a magic. Okay, just you will see that a tree is at the starting point. You can see the tree 62060. In this, the git is automatically created a tree. And inside the tree, if I write git cat file /p and copy the starting five values, it's copy and paste it here. Okay, just give me a second. It will show that inside this tree, file 1.txt, file 2.txt, file 3.txt will be created, will be stored. Okay, just I wanted to know what is the type of it. You can clearly see it is a tree type. So the tree command is not working on our laptops, but GitHub is automatically created a tree. Okay, just I wanted to make a new file. Okay, like file. This time I will move faster. 1000644. Like I don't want this. I just okay. Try to make this. Actually, I enter, copy this. Actually, you use the Control C and Control V commands. These commands are not work in Git Bash shell. So you have to use your mouse. It will take a time. File 1.txt. Okay. 1000644. It is the format so that it can be readable. I just move to the another hash value of the blob. file2.txt. Okay, I just copied this. This is the last. Paste the hash value of this. And oh shit. Okay, give me a second. What is the hash value? Acha, okay, it's in the 7. I have to write 7 there. Okay, so here 7 is missing, so I have to write 7. I use the tab file 3.txt. Okay, control X, Y. It will store in the file 4.txt. File 4.txt is nothing but basically a tree. But if I write the command mk3, it will not store. So firstly, I will check the status. Git status. It will show that file 4.txt is a untracked file. It will store in the directory part. So I just wanted to store uh, uh, in a new commit. So I just use git add dot command. It will just move the file file 4.txt in basically a staging area. Okay. So this time I use the commit git slash commit m or second commit. Okay, a new commit is generated and the commit hash value is starting from 177D7. This time I will just try the previous command git cat file slash p. What's the content of this commit? This is a new commit. So just copy it and just paste here. And this will show a tree and a parent. Parent is D6, D4, 7, 2, D7. Actually, this parent hash value is the nothing but a previous commit value. In the previous commit, I will store a 3 text file, but in this commit, I will store 4 text file. I will show in by using the commands, but this time I just show you our second command that the parent D6 D472 is the same hash value of previous commit. I will scroll it up and you will see that our first commit. Okay, that you can see clearly that master root commit, actually it is a root commit D6 D4723. So I explained that in the previous presentation that there is a Merkle drag is created. So in the first commit, our first commit, inside that commit I have a tree, and inside that tree I have a 3 text files. But when I commit a new, like our next commit, then that commit points to the parent commit and it will create a tree, and inside that tree we have a 4 text files. In the previous one we have a 3 text file, in that one we have a 4 text files. So just I use git cat file slash p, the tree value of this, just copy.
Where each element at index I represents the products of all the elements to the left of nums I. Then we will create a right products array where each element at index I represents the product of all the elements to the right of nums I.
Okay. I think, okay, I just continue slash p, just copy and paste it here. Paste it and You can clearly see that 4 text file in this. I will try to run every command on the git bash shell. After these commands, I will show you the live demonstration in a GitHub. Okay, so I will create a text file. Okay, this time I wanted to delete that file 3.txt, all the files. Okay, just I use rm file 1.txt. Okay, it will delete it. Rm file 2.txt. Rm file 3.txt, and at the last rm file 4.txt. So all the files are deleted. Just I check the status. These files are deleted, but I'll store these files in our first commit and our second commit. But this time I want to generate a new commit, so just I deleted all the files. Just I commit these changes. Okay, this time I use git status. You will see that all 4 text files are deleted. So I wanted to commit this. This time you will use your VS Code editor. Okay. Oh shit. Give me a sec. Okay. Okay, you can clearly see in the last words that the VS Code editor is opened automatically if you write this command in the sequence. And there I have to write our. Give me a second. Okay, yes. Our third commit. Third commit. And I just store in some computers, the vim code editor is open. So there you will use the T command firstly to text and WQ write and quit. But in the VS Code, this is very simple, closed and save. Okay. It will back in our previous where I will work. So give me a second. So you can clearly see that commit waiting for a new editor to close the file. The editor is open. I have tried our third commit. It will committed and 4 files are changed. These 4 delete mode file 1.txt, file 2.txt, 3.txt, and 4.txt deleted, and it will not inside the third commit. I wanted to know what is the history of commits. So our first commit, our second commit, our third commit. I wanted to know what is inside the third commit. So just I use the command git cat file /p and copy all this hash value, copy it and just paste here. Enter. You can see the parent is 177d7. You can see the what is the hash value of the second commit, that is 177d7. So it will point so that our third commit is point to our second commit and our second commit is point to our first commit. But each of these commits has separately created a tree, and in these tree the files are different. Like in the first one, file 3, file 2, and file 1. In the second one, the file 3, file 2, file 1, and file 4. But in the third one, this time you can see clearly, I just use the command git cat file p, and the hash value of the tree is shown. Just copied it, copy, and just paste it here. Okay, hash. It will show nothing because these are third commit has no files present. Okay, the tree is empty tree. So this time I will move a new command, that what is branches. What the basic commands, what is basically a branch. I explained in my previous presentation what is branch. This time I use some commands to get to know where the branch is present. we have created our 3 commits. So the basic understanding will be cleared. And if I wanted to move, firstly, I use git checkout command. Basically, it will take a hash value, like I wanted to move in the R second commit. So just I copy it, hash value, just copy it and just paste it here. So just paste. It will change. You will clearly show that you are in detached head. So there is an interview question that what is the detached head means. Detached head means is basically when the head and master key points the same commit. So that is called the head with attached with the master. But if you use the git checkout command, by the use of git checkout command, head is moved on the other commits. So this is called the detached head. Master is point to the current commit, but I will move in the our second commit, the hash value of the second commit, that is 1777. So you can clearly see that there 1777 we are inside it. And if I wanted to know what is this inside this, yeah, we use like, firstly we use the basic commands also, like /l. You will clearly see that 4 files is present. This time I wanted to move in the or our first commit. So just I use what command, git checkout the hash value of the first one. What's the hash value or our first? I just used only 5 hash. Okay, just copy it and paste it here. And you can clearly see that previous head position was 1777. Our second commit head is now in the D6, D4, 72D. It is our first commit. I want to know what is inside it. So I just write this. You can see clearly see there are three text files is present in this. This time I wanted to move our where master branch. Okay, git check out master. Just use name, yeah. If you mention the name, na, it is very simple. Like every developer has a unique ID of GitHub. So if a project team leader wanted to know what you can write in what the particular person writes, so you just take its git and try to use the git checkout command, and what they done, check what the developer has done. Okay, so it will switch the master branch. So this time I will use the command that cat dot get. It is a new command that head. Firstly, I will use okay, this time refs dot heads. Okay, so it is a directory. Sorry, change directory. I just use cd command. It is not. It is a folder, na. So I will move there. I wanted to know what is the files. So there is only one branches. This cd dot get refs and heads points to all branches present in your commit, in your basically repository. So there is only one branch, that is master branch. If I want that what the why master branch, this is the interview question is also uh, that interviewer asks why master branch is always points to the current commit. We just use to tell him cat dot get head head command. Okay, so okay, dot get head. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, I just use cd command. Okay, what's the mistake over there? Okay, I think there's mistake. I'll check it. Give me a second. Yeah. Oh, there's a big mistake that we are in the heads folder. So just we move previous one, just we move again previous one, and just we move again previous one. So this time we are in the SC1 folder, like source content one folder. So this time I will use the command, same command get, yes, this cat dot get head will show the reference that refs heads master. So that this command is clearly show why master is point to the current commit, because head is points to the master. Like what is the reference of head? Head is a pointer that points to the master, and head is basically a current snapshot of our our commits. So if head is the current snapshot and head is point to master, then master is also point to the current commit. This is the reason why master key points to the value, and that head is also move in the further, like head is a basically a pointer to know to move in all the paths available in your project. Okay, so this time you will know what is dot get. I will explain some good commands like branch. What is git branch? This git branch command you will see that only master, like we have only one branch is present, like git master branch. So just I use I will explain in presentation also, but I just try to implement it, and after implementation I explain each and everything uh, of this part, like git branch and git branch commands. So git branch temp, I just wanted to create a new branch, that is temp. So it will create git branch temp. It is created. Okay. If this time I will use the git branch command, you will clearly see the master and temp. Okay. So what is inside the temp branch? Basically, if I wanted to know what is the hash value of this command, firstly I will use the cat dot get head HEAD. So it will show a master. Just I use the git checkout command. Actually, git checkout is also work in this format. Check the temp. So switch to the branch temp. So it will show like if I wanted to know where I am, in which branch I am. So just I use head. It will clearly show reference to heads to temp. It will skip the master branch, and it is on the temp variable, temp branch name. Okay, I will explain through a pictorial representation of this, but this time I just open this temp. So if I wanted to create a text file inside this temp, so I just use nano file 4.txt. Okay. Oh, okay. Actually, this file is also created, previous one. Okay. Just I skip this file 6.txt. This is not created. Okay. That hello, comma get control X, Y. It will store. And I try to commit this. Firstly, I will check the status of this. Status, it will show that it will not committed, git add dot it will committed, and actually this add dot will go to the staging area, and this time I will commit it. So commit /m or first commit in temp branch, in temp branch. Okay, we are in the temp branch, and I try to commit this. So you can see that our first commit in temp branch. So this time the temp and the master branch is not pointing to the same. If I use the git cat file commands, you will clearly see cat file /p, and I just use the hash value of this temp. I can copy this from here and just paste it and just enter. You can clearly see that parent is ECD3638. Okay, just I show you what, just you remember what is the hash value of the third commit. I think it must be same. What is the parent of this? I just scroll this. Our first commit, our second commit. Okay, just use yeah. E ECD36. Okay, just you clearly see that in our commit history, ECD36. Okay, just that this new branch in the temp branch, a new commit is created, and inside that temp branch, the that temp branch, a new commit which points to the master branch commit, like master this time present and just I use git status, not git log command. I wanted to know the history, all the history. So this diagram, you will clearly see that our first commit, our second commit, our third commit, master is relies on the our third commit, but a new our first commit in temp is created, and D47A431006, this commit is created, and head is points to this temporary, and temp, what is the parent of this? That is the ECD36, like our third commit. So just I move our in my presentation part so that you can clearly see what I trying to explain all. Okay, just I open my presentation part and I will explain some commands also in there. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, yes. So you will clearly see that default branch is master branch. I will explain in my previous presentation. Multiple branches can exist in the same repository. Pointers for all branches are located in .git refs heads folder. Okay, just I explained that .git refs heads folder contain the all branches. So it is pointer for all branches located. If this time I can use my, I used my this command .git refs heads folder, you can clearly say that temp and master branch is different. Current branch tracks new commits. Why I tell branch pointer moves automatically every new commit, because head is the new snapshot of your commit. So in this clearly see that root commit is this master branch, like first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. BR102 is a new branch in that these commits, like pink ones, and temp is two commits, like head is pointer to exp experiment. So the master branch is the main branch, and inside that master branch, at the every instance, like this is the salt history of our projects, like BR102 is salt history, and temp is also a small history. So these history will create a branches, like many developers work what they work, and like I am a developer, and at a particular point I need a backend developer. So at that point there's new branches created, and that backend developer will work on that branch, but that branch, uh, new commits are created, but their parent is our that time when I call the new commit, new I create a new branch, their all pointers are point to that branch. Okay, so these are the basic Git branches management. Like Git branch, it will list all local branches, like .git refs heads folder is also showing that, but this is the special .git. It is a small .git branch. It will show Git branch name. It will create a new branch. Like I create a temp branch with the help of Git branch name. Okay, Git checkout. I previously explained that if I wanted to move a head pointer in the particular specific commit, then I just use Git checkout command. Git branch dash slash d. I will explain this command, delete a specific branch, and git branch slash m old. If I wanted to change, okay, this time I'll explain in again in dot git. Okay, just where I have to move this. Okay. Actually, yeah, this is the problem in the laptops. we can't move. I just open my new git bash shell. Okay, sc1. Okay, just give me a second. Git bash. Okay, just I change my directory to sc1, and in this you can clearly see master is not mentioned there, temp is mentioned there. So just I use, because head is point to temp. If this time I will open my GitHub, then it will show our temp. It will not show any commit. It will show only one commit. Because of multiple screens, I can't open all at a simultaneous, but I'll try. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, this. Just I open my GitHub there. And I change to master, not BR1 branch. It will show only, actually this time, not, actually this is, I used to create for practice, but I have to move in sc1 folder, add existing repository, and go to the commit part in our folder where I have created a just I move there and select sc1 there. I just select that folder, add repository. In this you will clearly see in the sc1 our third commit, our second commit, our first commit. So this time I am just use what git in the presentation part. You will see that git branch slash m old name and new name. I use this command. Git branch slash m, that's temp to new temp, NEWTEMP. It will change to temp to new temp like this. With the help of this command, we can clearly change my branch name. Okay, just I use the command git checkout to the move to the master branch. Master. Okay, we switch to the master branch. This time I wanted to list all, like in the in my PPT presentation, you can clearly see like there's some commands. Okay, so just I use git branch. Okay, okay, here git branch. It will list the two branches are present, three more, and more than three branches also present. We have different commits. Git checkout is always already used, so just I use git branch slash d. Name of this branch is what I wanted to delete is new, that is new temp. Okay, just temp. Okay, just it is deleted. Hint error, the branch new temp is fully merged. Okay, actually if I wanted to delete this, if this message is shown now, this, then you use not this format, just you use this format, that deleted branch. Sometimes the branch is fully merged. So for merged branches in presentation, you can see that uh, shortcut for creating a branch with checkout. Like I wanted to move simultaneously, I creating a branch and wanted to work on that branch. So just I use git checkout slash b branch name. It will create a branch name and move to the that current branch. Like git branch slash the name will delete a merged branch. if you wanted to delete a non-merge branch, uh, you use /d. Sometimes these git commands are vary in our laptops. So try to use these commands to explain to delete your branch. Okay. Picture of our project, like firstly I will create my first commit, our second commit, our third commit. In that time I will use generate a temp. In when I generate a temp branch, then temp master and head points to the third commit, and after that I will just take a text file and I create a new commit. I'll explain it in the code, like first commit, second commit, third commit. Master is point to the third commit, but head is point to the BR1 commit. That commit is the parent commit. That points to the parent commit, like third commit. This is the whole diagram. Today I'll explain from the starting part. Like our first project, it will create a 2 text file. In there I will create a 3 text file in our second commit, which have the pointer to parent to our first commit. In the second commit we have I taken the 4 text files. So it will same as it firstly it will point to the same of the previous one, and whatever the new is created, it will point to the new. Our text file has empty. I'll show you with the help of command that ls/l, it will not show any file. Like this time if I commit, like whatever in the file 1.txt in our first commit, hello git, and this is the same I use in fourth one in the new branch, br1 branch, like our in file 4.txt hello git. So it will point to the same. This is called git used existing block fall file with another name. Like name is different, but this time the hash value is same, so it will point to the same blob. Okay. So I end my presentation there. In our next section I will explain cloning, exploring and modifying public remote repositories. So if you have any question, then feel free to ask. If you have any confusion with any of the part, I will explain.
I want to ask something
Yes.
that what is the use of temp in Git?
What?
What is the use of temp that you showed over there while creating Git file?
Temp.
Yes.
Okay, just temp is a branch name that I will created. Like if the particular developer has assigned the like your name. So like dev1. So if the git branch code is dev1, so you are working on the dev1, and that dev1 is a branch name. I use temp is a branch as a branch name for explaining how the other branches is work.
Like we use in linked list that we use a temp to store something.
Yes, yes, the same format, but something different. Yeah, tree linked list is different. Like it will point us. It have sometimes it is same, but I think it is different. Like tree is created now, so at every step you have generate a 4, 5. So 5 text files. This is something different. It will follow the Merkle tree data structure. Merkle drag, sorry, Merkle trees follow in another, but Merkle drag data structure is used there.
Okay.
Okay, I think even not have any confusion. So Vedant, you will continue your presentation.
Okay. Abhay will do or I.
Abhay is not present this time. Just wait a bit. I Vedant, you will continue your presentation. Abhay will after your presentation ends. Continue.
Okay.
Vedant, I will create a new meeting so
Yes.
that the time duration is
Okay. Okay. So I thought I should stop it right now.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, yes, you can start. Vedant, you can start.
Okay. Just give me a. Please start the recording.
Yes, it is started. You can start your presentation.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. In last couple of sessions, I was discussing you about an API, and then afterwards I moved towards DOM. Moving towards DOM, although the DOM has not been completed till yet. See, there are many more things to tell you about. I said that I will be discussing more about the DOM and BOM, that we should get a good idea of an API, because it is it is very much interconnected and interrelated also. But now I think I have sufficiently I have discussed about the things that are sufficient at the stage level, at the interview level, or that you can prepare about, because there are much more important things to tell, where on and we will be studying all those things side by side. So today so I changed my topic for today. I skipped towards the a new set of topic, and as you can see on on my PC screen, that it is visible to you, the name of the new topic. Although this topic is very much common and generalized, it is a very generalized topic. You might be thinking that what I'm telling this topic and revising this topic to you. So you you might have studied in this topic in many of the programming languages, in all other programming languages, even not in the programming languages, but yes, you might have been uh, discussed this topic in many of the, you can say, normal simple mathematics even. But now, as I was teaching you about DOM, and it is a very proper part of a JavaScript. No, so I have introduced. As I said earlier, that I have introduced a lots and a basic. I gave you the basic idea of DOM. So we are moving towards much newer things right now, and so now the array is now array is a concept that I should give you. See, array is also array is a vast concept. And if you talk about JavaScript, there are many methods that we should know a day. Even you are doing any kind of data structures part, data structure in terms of, you can say, you're solving any problem statement. There also, if you are knowing the concept of array, you can help you can use JavaScript as your weapon over there, or as that programming language, and you can do all and you can solve that statement with the help of your JavaScript. So array is something that you should know for JavaScript. So we are discussing JavaScript, but we are discussing about the arrays today, but arrays will be discussing in terms of JavaScript today. So although this is very basic and very simple also, but in interviews, if you will see all these things, that people might get confused or perplexed that this topic is a very simple topic, and and it many people, although I'm today what I get confused while answering the questions. Although today I'm explaining you the basics, because if you're moving any of the complex things in future, so you should have a basic idea at least. And if you're having the more knowledge, then it will be good. So I just want to give you the basic knowledge today. So let's start with our session of today's session. So array is something that, see, what is a, if I talk about normally, that what is an array? Array is something that is a predefined something, you can say. If you want to declare any kind of a, you can say, object, or you can declare some, you can say, you want to create any kind of a list, or any kind of a, you can say, uh, uh, set of a set of things, or set of objects. So in the matrix, or it's a kind of a matrix, okay, some array, something like that. So arrays can, so array is very simple topic. Okay, array, it looks very simple when it comes to the JavaScript, although it has more complexity. So array, although array is a very simple topic. So right now, so for example, although right now I'm talking simple things for array, but when you're studying on your own, you should do one thing, that you can go to the Chrome and inspect, while, or you can connect your file with that in the VS Code with the help of JavaScript, and you can do console.log, and there you define an array or declare an array. So you will be getting some more some more new things. So array, so everyone knows what is an array, why we use an array. So creating an array is array. So how you create an array? See, for creating an array, it's a very common practice. See, although if I use any because we are discussing here in terms of JavaScript. So if I'm saying that if you want to create an array, you can just simple use like a simple data type of JavaScript, like as let, var, or const, and you can declare an array in the within the JavaScript within the JavaScript tags. So so while in that tag, you can simply create an array. So in terms of, for example, if you want to declare something, we are using let, and in the JavaScript, you have declared an array in a square brackets. I will be showing in my code even all those things. Here you will be getting more good idea about that. So like here, what I did, as you can see in the screen on as you can see in the screen on screen on right for a minute. So you can see in the screen that that how I declared an array. For example, I took a variable as session, so I just use the words as const, and I declared an array over here. So array, so the name of the objects were subscribe, share, and like. So as you see here, I also want to revise the topic of DOM, of DOM objects, because I think if you are doing all these things interconnectedly, so it will be even revising also it will be helping you to understand both that things. So that is the reason first I introduce all these things to you. So I use a DOM object as ID, as I told you in last couple of sessions that how we use ID or how we fetch ID. So I will be avoiding to you to telling all those things again. So for example, if I use the word a session and I declared an array like this, so you can say it is in output screen, it is printing like that, subscribe share like. So in a normal, you can say in a normal format. Now moving towards the next line, next slide. So in this slide, you can see over here that what I did, I simply I used a new method of declaring an array. I uh, I, I took the variable as info, and then I declared some square brackets over here. Then see this is also the way that you can create an array. So this is a new concept of creating an array. See, actually there are many concepts or many methods likewise you create an array. As you can see over here, that here I just use so that here I just use as session, and I declared some square brackets over here. Then I wrote some my objects or my things that I wanted to write in the square brackets itself, and then I you can say ran the code, and then after running the code, you can say this is in my output screen. This was the outcome or the output. So here, so similarly in here also I use the square brackets. So there I declared in the square brackets itself the elements, but here I'm not declaring the elements itself. First, I declared an array, an empty array. Okay, I declared an empty array. After declaring that empty array, I use the objects like I declared the objects like info. You can say because info was my variable. Then so with the help of indexing criteria or the indexing part, what I did, I provided the index over there. That is that was a three names. That is Vedant Shukla, and a simple word, that is line. So you can see over here. So then I used an ID tag, because in the paragraph you can say this is the dummy text. You can say dummy paragraph, and there was an ID provided over there. And while the ID, as you can see, while the ID was provided over there as arrays, I wrote the arrays over there itself in the ID tag. Then with the help of inner HTML, I wanted to add all those things, because info is something that is if in which the array has been stored. So I have to create. So I have to, you can say, fetch that info over there in the inner HTML part itself. So while you can say declaring info at my at inner HTML, there's something this was printed in the output screen. That is Vedant Shukla and line in a simple form. So you can see over here also, uh, nothing was you can say changed, or both the output screen, the similarity was there. Although a heading was included over there and heading was not included, this was something different, but the similarity was there. So you can say, so if you're using both the methods, you can declare the array and output screen with the help of both the methods. So you do not have to nothing very no, you can say there will be no variation over there in both the codes. Okay. So while you can say preparing the index, you can do like that. So here you get the concept of index also, that you can providing the index also, and there you can, yeah, there you are getting all those things. So the next part comes about, like if I'm providing my you can say uh, you can say my elements like that in the array. You can say first I declare the square brackets, and then I'm writing in a column format. So although I was writing it in the column format, But while I fetch when wanted to fetch in my output screen, you can say my screen was showing it is in a row format evenly. So array is so you might be knowing this thing that array is it is a form of a queue. So the output will be printed in a queue format itself. It won't be if I'm applying the column format. So in the output screen, the column format will not be applied. So it will prevent from applying for the column format, and it will be giving the row format as usual. Okay, so this was the thing uh, that are something common. So now here I wanted to do something. You can say I wanted to relate the previous topic and the new topic as well. So and because previously, if you have seen that actually what happened that I want, as I said earlier, that here also see arrays is a today the topic I took as array and the simple concepts of array I have taken. So nothing was here hard or complex to understand all those things, because I wanted to change the, as you can say, format, because we were studying DOM and there was something complex, and it is getting boring day by day. So here I say here what I did. Uh, I wanted to declare the array, but here I use both the things. The DOM part also, and the an array also. Arrays in DOM. So if you interconnected, so it will be interesting to study about. So okay. So what is that thing over here? I simply provided. See, see in the last session only, I discussed about the class name. You can say DOM element by class name. Okay, so the class name. So there I discussed about the class name, and this in the very first session of DOM, I discussed about the ID tag. Okay, so sorry, that ID element, the class element and ID element. So and here I introduced both the elements over of DOM. So you might be revising the DOM over here also. So that so if I want to tell, so if I want to tell you the more, you can say, if I want to tell you the more, you can say, deeper part of these things, because I've already discussed and much about, I think, of all these things, how to use an element or how to use a tag name or all those things. Okay, so let's study about something else. That here, for example, I provided the this is the paragraph text of array literals. This was the first line, and now the arrays can face the changes in a queue simply by class name. This was the second paragraph. So the what are the elements I wrote? I wrote the elements as Vedant first. So here in the paragraph, even also I wanted to declare the. So see, this is the little bit the important thing, that here I have declared in terms of array. There, see, here I was declaring in the JavaScript. Here I was declaring the arrays in the JavaScript. You can see over here in the screen itself. Here I was introducing with the help of a JavaScript. Here also I introduced the array concept in the JavaScript itself. But but what I'm doing here I'm introducing the concept of this. I'm declaring the array in the HTML in the HTML part, and I'm enclosing all these things in the help in the body tag, where while I'm using the paragraph tag, that is a you can say child tag of body itself. So there are and there I provided the class, you can say, a common class name, that is new. So new is the common class name over here. So you can it has been written as Vedant first and Shukla last. It was written that Vedant is the first part of the name, and the Shukla and the surname Shukla is the last part.
Vedant,
So then
10,
I yes
10 minutes is left. Please
yes
cover as less time, please.
okay. So I was telling you about that here Vedant was the first name and Shukla was the last. So Vedant is the first and Shukla is the last. So and I provided with the help of a common class, and the ID that I provided you as ID1. Okay, and I'm enclosing all those things within the JavaScript tag. Okay, so here I declared the DOM. DOM is the, you can see, variable over here. So document dot get element by class name, that I use a common class name, that is name. So then I see this is the concept of, you can say, DOM, and I think I have told you about DOM much at last couple of sessions. So you might be understanding this part of the code, that document dot get element by ID, but ID was one, and because I wanted to fetch that class part and not inner HTML, I because inner HTML additionally uses the statement. So the session is taken by Vedant Shukla. Okay, plus DOM. So DOM was the, you can say, as a common variable over here. It is just a variable over here that I declared with the help of a constant data type, constant data type. And the index are provided. See, because see, if you're using the class name or if you're using a tag name, you people are knowing very well that I also told you about that. If you want to fetch or access these things, this part, you have to use with the help of an index. In the index part is very important. So there there I was telling you about the arrays, and today we are discussing the arrays itself only. So here you can see over here that DOM, I'm providing the DOM with the so in the DOM I'm providing the array index as 2, and in an array the indexing starts from 0. So the 0, 1 and 2, and 2 was the last, you can say, part of the paragraph. So it is accessing and giving me this part with that array part with an first and Shukla last with the help of a square brackets, because here was I was providing with a common class name, and common I and get elements by class name I provided with this class name. Okay, so this is the this one. And one thing more important, that see, you have, if you want to access something, or if you want to in DOM, even if you want to write print something like that in your output screen, you have to write your code as either in this format only. You try to write in this format, because it is very, you can say, sensitive. Because if you change the order of a code, or you can say if you are providing the wrong uh, ID or wrong, you can say, tag or something like that, so it will be nothing will be going to print in the output screen. Although I haven't showed all those things here because it takes more time. So the, you can say, the part of array has been printed over here. But see, because in paragraph I provided with the help of I already declared it with the help of in a part of a you can say array. So here I just created an array part, but also it has been printed. But you can say, but here, if in DOM, if I want to access the JavaScript, if I'm declaring the an array, and then I want to, you can say, fetch. So there will be the code will get complex, and it will be showing you nothing in output screen. Or in a simple language, I should say, the code will not be working. For example, if you in DOM part, rather than writing document or get element by class name, if I'm writing Vedant first and Shukla last, you can say, and then I'm just with the help of these things, I'm just directly want to fetch in inner HTML. I'm fetching, and I'm writing rather than writing the session is taken by Vedant Shukla. I'm writing just normally DOM over here. Nothing will get printed in the output screen, because it might show you it might show you the error over here, because DOM here is a part of an array, and an array words always wants an index. Okay, so simply you can print over it, as you can say, simply after declaring you can print over it, but just not declaring and you are printing like that only, so it gives you an error. Okay, so if you want to fetch with the help of inner HTML, so here I am not using the concept of inner HTML like this only. I'm providing the normal. I'm going sequentially. I'm providing the ID of array and all those things. Then I'm printing in output screen. But here I'm not. But if I'm doing like that, first I provided the ID, then I'm providing with the help of inner HTML, so it will get an error. So okay. So if you want to try it on your own, you can please in the VS Code you can do it with the help of a tag name. I introduced with the help of a class name, but you people can do with the help of a tag name. So keywords, the concept of keywords talks about that. For example, in Java, what we do. Java when we if you want to declare an size an array. or size of an array. For example, if you've studied about object-oriented programming, there what we do, we declare the name of a class. While declaring the name of a class, then we have to, you can say, initialize the variable as new. Okay, no problem. Then while initializing the variable as new, then we write, for example, class name is something like solution, or the class name is like, you can say, Zoom or session. So that first class name is there, then you declare an object and new, and then again the class. So this is the concept of Java. In JavaScript also, if you want to declare something, when we declare an array, so there also, when we declare an array, any list or integer, there we also use this new keyword. But here also in JavaScript also we use a new keyword. But the thing is that it is not, if see but the thing is, it is not necessary. So it is just like, you can say, uh, this it is just like, you can say, a new type of a method or new type of a concept, that while you can access it. So it, again, I'm saying that it is not giving any kind of a, you can say, variation. Just just you can say, just you can modify your code. But what I personally suggest, that if you do not need all these things, don't need it. Just increases the complexity of the code and readability of the code. Actually, for example, if you are declaring with a new, then while you are reading the code, you can easily identify that, okay, with the help of a new, you have been here, the array has been declared for something's new to the code, or new to the language. So this is the concept. For example, as you can see in the code itself, that pated is something, the variable over here, and new array, new is the standard or inbuilt keyword, predefined keyword, and array, and then I printed the whole array. Although I have to take the square brackets, but here I take the braces. Then also it was getting printed, because, and then I provided the ID key, the symbol and patent. Then I use, so this is the formal sequence. Then so it has been getting printed, no problem over there. But while I will be suggest you, if you do not need all these things, you can avoid also. It is just up to you. So now I'm getting, so we are running shortage of time. So I want to wrap up with my session of today's session. So if you have any question and answers, you can ask me. So here, for example, creating an empty array. Actually, if you want to create an empty array, you just use the square brackets, or common square. See, all the answers of all those things I have already provided you while I'm talking, while I'm discussing itself in the session. Actually, when you create an empty array in JS, you just provide, with the help of a square brackets, and with that square brackets helps you to just create an empty array. So there your empty array has been created. If you have any doubt over there, you can see over here, in my previous code, you can say, uh, this second, yes. So you can see, so likewise, for example, here first I declared an empty array, and then I filled the elements with the help of will the help of that variable only. But what I use, I use the concept of indexing over there. So with the help of indexing part, I use the all the three elements over there that I wanted to write at Vedant, Shukla, and line. So that was printed. Although if I want to, if I'm, you can say, deleting all these three indexes and the elements as well, so there we can get an empty array. So this is just a simple way to create an empty, you can say, to create an empty array in JavaScript. The access, the first and last element, see, accessing of the elements in the array is not, should it is very, you can say, common to you, is everyone knows about how to access an array. For example, the indexing of array starts from 0. Everyone knows this. So it is very simple and it is very logical, that if you want to access an element in an array, you just simply provide that index, that index part. So here, for example, I've shown you also, in my, you can say, uh, in my last screen, I will be showing you this practically also, that you can do indexing. the most important thing here is that how you access the last elements of an array. So although it is very simple, many of you being knowing about that. If you want to access the last element, you just provide with the help of a negative side of an array, that is -1, in the square brackets itself, and you can access the last elements of an array. So while adding the element to the end of an array and removing the last elements from an array. See, adding an element, just you can use the function of add, and while if you want to add at the last part of an array, you provide, again I'm saying, you provide us the index name. You can say the if you're providing the appropriate index in the square bracket itself, and you while using the add function. For example, if we have studied the in Python also, the simply we use the similar thing over there also, that we provide the appropriate, you can say, index over there, and then while we want, if we want to fetch the last element of an array, we can access it as well by
Vedant,
using
it's
the
high
append
time.
function. What?
You can cover it in short.
It is almost over on. So and now if you're talking about how do you remove the last element from an array, so see, the last removing the element from the last, it is a little bit tricky part. Actually, we use a slice function over there. So while using that function also, you can remove the last element from an array. If you people have any doubt, I can in the next session I will be showing you this also, or telling you more about that, as we are running short of time. So as I was telling you about that, uh, removing and that accessing part. Actually, I haven't included that accessing part. I just, but then also, because it is very simple and common to you. But then also, if you people have any doubt, so I just provided you one kind of a, you can say, one more slide that in my PC. So you can you can relate from the code and the output screen as well in the browser. That in this is Zoom is, you can say, again variable over then I provided to see this is a more interesting part. See what happens over there. Simply I provided an array in the JavaScript. I simply provided the array in the JavaScript with the help of square brackets. Then document dot by ID. So ID was an array part. So you can say uh, in arrays, you can say arrays was the name of an ID tag. In the ID tag, I provided as it is as arrays. Then in an HTML, I was adding that variable of the similar variable zoom. Okay, say okay. The zoom and zoom two. Zoom two was this. Again, I provided the name. So there are the three parts of a name: first, middle, and last. Okay. So here, if you, I just see, this is a common DOM code, and you people might be understanding it as well. So I'm not I'm not exaggerating about it about. So here, what I did first, it was getting printed as Vedant Shukla. Okay, because see, Vedant Shukla was heading, so it was getting printed as Vedant Shukla. Here I wanted to access the, you can say, second part of my, you can say, index. So it is very simple. I just provided with the help of a I provided the index as well, and my second part was getting accessed over here. No problem over there. Then I wanted to access the last part, that is Vedant. So Vedant was also getting access over there. No problem. So you might be wondering that is such a simple thing. Actually, and because I already told you about the indexing start from zero, and you can provide the index over there as sequentially as well, and you can get the result in the output screen. But the thing is that, see, what I here provided with you two IDs. The first ID was array, and second ID name was oops. So see, here you can also relate the things that if you're studying a common and a simple concept also, you have to get a sufficient or a sound knowledge of a DOM. So here, how the DOM has been used here. So okay, or you can say that how I interconnected a DOM part over here. Actually, what happened over here? that I provided the ID of arrays as at my first name at my first you can say variable, and then I took another variable and I provided another ID. So if you're taking two variables, we have to provide the two IDs in the body tag as well. Okay, otherwise it won't get work sufficiently. So this is the concept. Also, this is the concept. Okay, this is the concept. But for example, if I'm taking the single variable, and then I wanted to fit the single with the single ID, then I wanted to fetch the both the elements. Or you can say I'm providing a simple a common I'm getting the common ID. I'm providing the common ID over there, and again I wanted to fetch the zoom to the zoom two elements. Or I just removed the zoom two. I wanted to fetch with the help of a single, you can say, with the help of a single ID, and with the help of us, for example, document or element by ID arrays, and I remove the zoom too, and I want to again when I should let that works first, you can say first line of an array. So I again want to access the another element over there. So in both the cases, so try to understand, in both the cases, it will be it won't get work depending upon the browser as well. But it will be showing the or you cannot get the output is easily, because for you have to provide simply you have to provide a different IDs for different, you can say, DOM name, or you can say for different, you can say for different variables, or if you want to access two couple of variables, you have to provide a different ID or different variable. So by with the
Last
help of
less
this, I'm
than one
wrapping up
minute.
with the section.
Less than 1 minute is
Yes. So I just wrap.
remaining.
So I just completed with my session. If you have any question and answers, again I'm saying you can ask me. So this was about my whole session that I was telling you about. Again, so you see, although these things was very easy to understand, but the things will be getting more complex in the future. So I just wanted you to explain with the basic concept that as as I interconnected with the help of a DOM as well over here. So with the help of this, you can do all these things. So you can study your if you want to study more about an array, you can go in the VS Code, and you can inspect inspect the browser as well in the your favorite browser. And while going towards your favorite browser, you can do console.log, and or you can access with that. If you want to study with that for DOM name, you can use various elements of DOM name, such as tag name or something like that. So this was the thing that you can study is the concept of arrays. So I think you might be lacking the today's session. If you have any question and answer, you can please raise it right now. Anyone, if you have.
No question. Okay, I think you complete your presentation.
Yes.
Okay. Abhay, you will continue your presentation.
So I think only 2 minutes are remaining. You can rejoin or what you want to do.
Okay, I end this meeting. You can rejoin.
Now, is my screen coming onto yours?
No, it is not visible.
Okay. Now is it coming?
Yes, it is visible.
So, okay, so today I have taken a topic that is called as 5G technology. I would be going into it in a very quick time. So let's start with this 5G technology. To start with, what are the topics that I am going to discuss in my PPT presentation of very short time of around 10 minutes? The topics that I'm going to cover are going to be the introduction of it, a brief history of it, and then we will talk about what were the evolutions that led us to 5G and what can happen in future, and what were the key elements that enabled us or that enabled the 5G technology. And at the end, we will wrap up with few advantages of it. So these are the topics today. Let's get started. The first thing to start with was wireless communication. For the first time in the world, the wireless communication was started in 19th century when a scientist named Marconi, he was a pioneer. He did an experiment in which he successfully transmitted a radio signal over a short distance. That was the first time when the first wireless communication happened in the world. And before that, there were few of the inventions by the scientists such as like James Clerk Maxwell, who gave a theory of electromagnetic, who gave a theory of electromagnetic theory that also kind of laid a framework for the wireless communication. Let me give you an overview of this page. That is wireless communication. There was the two key events. The first one was the electromagnetic theory, and that led the framework for the wireless communication. And one of the scientists who experimented and find out that it can really happen, that was Marconi, and he did it with the help of the radio signals. That's a that's a quick preface about about the wireless communication, and then we come down to our 5G topic. Like 5G stands for the fifth generation of mobile network technology, and it is succeeding the 4G LTE. Now this LTE stands for the long-term evolution, because in 4G there was so many changes that would keep on happening. That is why it was termed as LTE, long-term evolution. It represents a significant leap forward in wireless communication, offering fast speeds, lower latency, and increased capacity compared to the previous generation. This is the introduction of the 5G. And then to talk about the previous generation, this is an image that kind of give you a quick overview of all those four generations. In the first G, there was only analog voice. You can only connect with people through a voice call, and that too was analog. And in the second generation, there was a digital voice connection that they were using the digital signal, and you can also SMS one another. In the 3G, there came an introduction to multimedia. You can share picture, or even you can have a glance over YouTube videos or these videos, but with a buffering speed. And next up was 4G that we are recently using, and we most of us are switching towards the 5G, and that is giving us a speed of 1 Gbps per second. This is the little theory of that. Like 1G introduced in 1980s, and just after 10 years in 1990s, we was introduced to the 2G, and then 3G in 2000, and 4G in 2000 again, and it was to be precisely in 2010. And the key technologies that enabled us to use the 5G, they were the multimeter wave spectrum. So multimeter wave spectrum means we are using very high frequency wavelengths to transmit the data. So that is why we are able to use high speed data. So 5G utilizes higher frequency bands, including millimeter wave spectrum, to achieve the faster data rates. The next one is massive MIMO, that is multiple input, multiple output. 5G networks employ advanced antenna systems with hundreds of antennas to improve spectral efficiency and increase capacity. And then there is a beam forcing technology. Beam forcing technology is a technology where we guide all our radio waves in a particular direction. So beam forcing technology enables the focusing of radio signal in specific direction, improving coverage and throughput. Here, throughput stands for the number of operations that you can do in a unit of time. Then there is a technology called as network slicing. 5G network supports network slicing, allowing operators to create multiple virtual networks with customized characteristics to serve diverse use cases. You can even share your network like it is happening in the cases of cloud computing, where you can choose your configuration, and as far as your configuration, that is going to be made available to you, and it is helping with the help of the 5G technology. Then what are the features that we get from the 5G? There are only four features that I've listed out. The first one is ultra fast speed. We are getting ultra fast speed that is in gigabits per second, and that is enabling us to quickly download something and upload something. that is lightning fast. Then next one is low latency. Latency refers to the delay the moment we do something and the response we get. So that time is called as latency. So there is a very low latency in 5G, offers significantly reduced latency, with latency as low as few milliseconds, making real-time applications like gaming and augmented reality more responsive. And we know that augmented reality and VR, these all sort of things require a very low latency. If there is a latency, it kinds of spoils the joy, or you spoils the purpose of these technologies. So it is helping in those technologies also. Then there is a massive connectivity. With 5G, you can connect so many devices, including IoT devices. 5G networks can support a massive number of connected devices per unit area, making them ideal for IoT deployments with billions of connected sensors and devices. So that's also one of the feature that we inherit from the 5G. And the last one we're talking about the feature is reliability and energy efficiency. Why it is energy efficient? It is also it is also producing less carbon footprint as compared to the earlier generations of technology, because we are using more improvised, or you can say more efficient algorithms to deal with all these things. That is why it is taking less energy, and at the same time it is faster than the earlier ones as well. So 5G networks are designed to be highly reliable and energy efficient, with improved network efficiency and reduced power consumption compared to the previous generations. So here is a quick look on the four features. That is, it is ultra fast, it is low latency, massive connectivity, and reliability and energy efficient. And these are the benefits that we can get out of it. That is the enhanced mobile broadband. You will have too much of speed on your mobile itself. You can have a 1 Gbps speed on your mobile. So that is the enhanced mobile broadband. The next one is IoT support. You can get IoT support out of it. You can see on the picture at the top, like you can see so many clocks onto yourself with the help of this. And this slide is showing you like so many devices that require real time, too much of real time. For example, a surgery robot that requires a very high speed network, so that every action that you do from somewhere else is modulated exactly by the robot. So that is called as mission critical application. 5G low latency and high reliability makes it suitable for mission critical applications such as autonomous vehicles, remote surgeries, and industrial automation. So that require a very high speed. So it is a kind of assisting with the help of the 5G. And then improved user experience in the technologies, as I have mentioned, in augmented reality and virtual reality, it is also helping there. So this is it, and there are the 5 questions they might be asked in your interview. So just to have a look onto these questions, most of them have already been answered within the presentation, and you can refer these answers as well. With this, I come to the end. To summarize my PPT presentation in just a quick manner, let's have a look. So there was only 2 scientists to whom we can say there was the real frameworker for the wireless communication. That was the scientist who invented electromagnetic theory, and then Marconi, who kind of experimented that theory and got a result with the radio signals. And then I talked about the 5G, and this is a quick overview of that. This picture summarizes it all. And then what are the technologies that help us to use, or that helped us to make 5G, are millimeter wave spectrum, multiple input, multiple output, beam forcing, and network slicing. And as you know, these are the features. You can look into this. That's it from my side. If you have any question, you can ask.